Good morning, everyone. How are you? You'll notice we don't have our face cam today. I decided it'd be kind of cool if I could move the camera down to put it here. That way, if I need to, we can also go to here and you can see the paint mixing. Because I've always been like, maybe I should get a third camera. Maybe I should set it up, which I haven't yet. But this seems like a good alternative. Also, I thought doing something kind of fun in the mornings. I know we have our question of the day, but we all are enjoying doing the charms and the squares, which I haven't gotten to them yet because I'll get into in a little bit because it's been kind of crazy here. But anyway, I was thinking for those that are, you know, first in chat this morning, what if we did like a tiny little giveaway in the mornings, like before we start stream? So like what I can do is I set it to active users and then I could choose a winner, and then that winner will get like 100 points, I think, because it's every stream, like it can't be, you know, extreme stream anyway. But I thought that would be fun. So real quick before we get into well, I have the question of the day on the front part, but we can jump right into painting. So real quick, let's go ahead and choose our winner, and this is just for those that were chatting this morning already. So we're going to choose our winner, and it's Kara. So now I can go into Kara's, and she currently has 1,315, but we're going to change that to 1,415. So what do you guys think? Do you want to do that in the mornings? Just little small points giveaways, and the cats are having a conniption over there. Right? That's what I was thinking. I was just like, we should do that. Like, we're so close to a lot of people finishing their squares. Like, I love seeing them all finished. But yeah, we have loads to talk about today. But first things first, let's do our hellos. What am I doing? I haven't even said hellos. I'm all over the place this morning. All right, so let's see. We've got Cece, good morning. Linda, good morning. Tech Out, good morning. Copy of the book arrived last night. Yes, this book released yesterday. Mine didn't get here till late last night. And honestly, I wasn't sure if it was going to be delayed till today anyway, because it was crazy around here yesterday. Let's see. Linda, hello. Jeanette, hello. Christine, hello. Natalie, good morning. Alexandra, good morning. Alex, I know that you changed it to Alexandra. Do you want to still go by Alex, or do you want to go by Alexandra? Because I can switch to whichever you prefer. Let's see. Miss Butterfly, good morning. Yvonne, hello. Yes, welcome. Let's see. Mrs. Butterfly. Make sure I'm not missing anyone. Connie, hello. Let's see, always pencils, but dabble in paints, but usually miss the page. I know, we've been doing pencils for a little bit. Oh, which I'll show you guys, because I did finish that page. If you haven't seen it, I posted it on Instagram. I need to post it on YouTube still. But I was definitely feeling the paints this morning. Let's see, make sure I'm not missing anyone. Kara says, color pencils. Yeah, today's question of the day is, what is your preferred medium? And so, yeah, we got color pencils for Kara, color pencils for Christine, pen pastels. Love it. Hi, Mona, how are you? Use pencils the most. Yeah, Michelle, good morning. Let's see. Right, yeah, I thought it would just be kind of fun. Let's see, make sure, ooh, it hopped down. Hold on, hoping I didn't miss anyone. Do you flip through yet? No, we haven't. Whatever is easier, okay. Depends on what you're coloring. No, that's fair, Michelle, I feel that one. So before we get in, my goal is to do the full 2 hours today. I have some throat therapy tea with me because my throat does not feel great this morning, but not because I'm sick. Oh no, that would be too easy. I sent a picture to Shannon. If you could see yesterday, everything was brown outside yesterday. It has since cleared up a bit, but everything was brown and smoky. Because we may or may not have gotten an evacuation notice for wildfires. Sorry, I yelled that because that just makes everything so fun. Thankfully, they lifted it not soon after, but there was another one about 20 minutes away from us, which happened to be right about the time that I was going to go pick up Steve. And I'm like, I was actually on the phone with my mom when little Emily came downstairs, and she's just like, hey, I got this emergency alert on my phone, and I look at it, and I had gotten mine, and I was just like, oh, you know, and I don't know, I hadn't paid much attention. And then she brought hers, and I was looking at it closer. I'm like, oh, that's a little bit close. Like, if we were to go to our regular grocery store, we would have been snuggling with it. We had really high winds yesterday, really high winds, which is why they were all saying, oh, we're in, you know, a fire, you know, weather, fire, danger, all that kind of stuff. But I just didn't think about it. Apparently it was a brush fire of some sort, and they did end up getting everything under control before dark, which was nice, because I literally had like a go bag ready to go, because I know how quickly those can go. And I'm sorry, but like 20 minutes is not that far. Like, yeah, Kim, they've been, yeah, because I think they're headed east, aren't they? Anyway, so there were 2 wildfires uncomfortably close to where we live, and like the fact that you get evacuation alerts on your phone wasn't super fun. Anyway, thankfully most of the smoke and the haze cleared. It's blue out here now, but yeah, we had our go bag ready to go. Thanks, Shannon. Anyway, beside the point. The point is, we are all fine. Everything is fine. It was smoky. My throat hurts, but I've got my throat therapy tea with me this morning, and yeah, we are gonna power through here. Hang on, mark something. It's the smoke. It really is. It really is. Any hoozle. Wait, what giveaway? Kara. I was thinking that it'd be fun to start doing giveaways for like first and like not like first in chat, because I don't want to be erased, but you know, in that time where I have the countdown in the morning and whatnot, I figure when we first start chat, we can do a giveaway for like how's it look now? I haven't had a chance to update them, because that's the other thing is little Emily was sick this last weekend actually. So like Saturday she had a thing where we were gone all day, and then Sunday morning she woke up with a fever, and so she's been sick, and then literally the world was on fire, and it was completely insane. So anyway, all right, well, let's go ahead and good morning, Dylan. If I missed anyone coming in, I apologize. But yes, so let's talk about the book. Let's talk about the book. Do I need this book? If you, I mean, I don't know. A terrible influencer. I'm just gonna say yes, because I like it. So, as far as Rachel Reinert, so she currently has In Bloom. Oh, I'm looking at the titles behind me. Let's see, Woodland. I can't see the freaking title. I gotta get my prescription check. Anyway, she's got a handful of books, but this is her newest one. Came out yesterday. It showed up late last night. And so we are going to do a quick flip through. This is, yes, absolutely. This is Tropical Wonderland. You can follow Rachel and her journey on Instagram as well. I suppose we don't need this little thingy there for now. We'll put it back on when we actually start painting. I was just looking at the book, and I know that we've been doing a lot of pencils lately, but I was just like, yeah, the paper feels great. It is smooth. It is smooth, probably smoother than Johanna's, but it doesn't not. I think I have another Rachel Reinert book, the first one. Oh, nice. Yeah, there's Botanical Wonderland, Desert Wonderland, Woodland Wonderland, and then this is Tropical Wonderland, and then she has In Bloom and a color workshop book. So that is, I think this is book number 7. Yes, it's single-sided. It's single-sided. Yeah, it's real nice. So real thick paper, and I've used paint in her books before, and it holds up pretty well. So that's what we're going to do today. So like she actually, I would say this one has more fauna, I guess, than some of her other books. Some of her other books do have some animals, but I have noticed more in this one than her previous ones. So obviously it's going to have a whole tropical vibe. So we've got a little toucan there. And again, like I said, it's single-sided. We've got these flowers. I've seen a few, I think these are, why am I blanking? They're like hibiscus, right? And then we got some orchids and everything. So we've got kind of that little frame style. Looks like some hanging moss. Yeah, a lot of open spaces. Ah, thanks, Britt. So we've got a little sloth, a little baby sloth, which, speaking of baby, oh my gosh, if you're not following Rachel and you do follow her, she recently had a son, and he is the cutest little baby around, I swear. And then we've got some butterflies and moths with, I believe this is the Birds of Paradise flower. And then we've got a beautiful peacock. I was debating about this one, but I want to think a little bit more on it. Right? Oh, he's so cute. So, I swear, like, I don't know if this is weird to say, But her and her husband make the prettiest babies. Like her daughter, like if you've seen her when she was a baby, oh my gosh, they are so precious. So, so precious. Got this one. This one's kind of nice. It's not all clustered together. So if you were wanting to do something, you know, not quite as dense. Ooh, sparkly watercolor would be nice. Then we got our little elephant hiding next to the river here. And this one's not fully parallel or like not fully mirrored, because you can tell because not all of the leaves, like they're not exactly the same. It's at a little bit of an angle, so you're not gonna like get bored by coloring the exact same thing on the other side. Honestly, that's what I struggle with. I enjoy drawing mandalas, but I don't enjoy coloring them. And same thing with like any kind of mirrored images. I just get bored with it. Like maybe that's just me. Also, this is like a normal glass one that I was doing when I did a thing with Arteza, and I have my tea here. So you guys see me drink this because like 3 times now, my instinct has been to grab this and drink it. So try not to let me drink the paint water. Hi Kitty, how are you? But we have a flamingo here. And actually, you wouldn't have to do bright pink if you didn't want to. You could do like almost kind of a white with like pink tips. So that could work. Then we've got some orchids, very nice. We've got a cute little log with little plants and moss and whatnot. She does have some portraits in here. So this one, I could imagine this one would be really colorful. Right, exactly. You know, the funny thing is, Michelle, is I'll do that too. I'll do that too. It would be a nasty drink, yes. Oh, nice, Britt. Mine were hydrangeas. I remember because the florist didn't want to do them because they die so quickly. These nice and simple but bold colors. And then I was trying to think, like, I know that there's a bird that has really long tail feathers, but I'm getting the sense that some of these are like mildly exaggerated, so a bit fantastical. Oh no, Yvonne, but it'll get there. It'll get there. Dang, April 18th. Wow. Then we got some fruits. We got a coconut, pineapple, kiwi, papaya, mango, and dragon fruit. Maybe it's the yellow one. I'd have to look it up. Then we got some lotus flowers. This one's real pretty. You could do some fun stuff with water. And then we have a chameleon. I love a good chameleon because you can go so crazy with the colors. And then we've got some parrots. Then we've got hibiscus. So there's some that are super simple, some that are detailed. He's so cozy and sleepy. A little leopard in the tree, living his best life. And then we got the cockatoos with some more orchids. Again, a lot of these birds can be super colorful. If you like jars and coloring glass, this would be something that would work for you. Like, I feel like I should know the names of most of these flowers, but like I'd probably look them up. We got a tiger. And then we've got another simplified one with some butterflies. And we've got a parrot. So this could be like where, I love that it's like got a wood frame, but this could be like a desert and this could be the oasis, or this could be all green, like sky's the limit. Heck, you could make it purple. And we got some potted plants. I really like the mix of like detailed and simplified because it's like a little bit for everyone. And then we've got hummingbird, I believe. And then we got some orchids, and I'm sure these are a type of orchid, but I can't remember the name of it right now. And then we got the capybara. Look how cute they are. And with this here, I mean, you could do a sun for this, but like I'm kind of visualizing this as kind of like a night sky. I think that could be really pretty. And then we've got flowers in a vase. I almost thought about doing this one for today. And then of course we've got the little tree frogs. Did you guys ever see that video of the story about the frog that was living in the sink? They ended up building him a whole terrarium because as it turns out the frog that was in their sink was an invasive species, so they kept it as a pet. But still, it's a little frog like this in their sink. It was adorable. Then we got more parrots. Then we got a palm tree, and then some close-up florals. We got another tiger and a little monkey lemur, not sure which breed he is, but it's a monkey of some sort. And then we've got the beetles. Yeah, see, these pages are nice and thick. Like, it makes me keep thinking that, like, and I'm missing that I'm grabbing 2 pages. We've got some more birds. We got a little toucan under here. Another circle. So again, this could be moon or sun. Then we've got some separated leaves. We've got another portrait. I think there's just the 2 portraits in here, right? It's so pretty. And then we've got, oh, is it a ringtail lemur? Is that what it's called? Oh, but look, he's going after the little butterfly. You're good, Kara. This one is the one we're going to do today. I know this is tropical, but being, and it's not the same bridge at all, but being a native Oregonian, I was thinking this one of like Multnomah Falls. So that's going to be kind of where we're getting our color inspiration for. And then there's this one, a nice big simple one. And then we got some more monkeys and a little butterfly. And then we've got, oh, that's like a, oh, it's like a swallowtail something. I've seen like the two feathers that go off. And then that's it. And if you wanted to, here's another smaller vase one. So that is this book. So like I said, this is Tropical Wonderland. I have it pinned up at the top of the chat if you want to check it out. But yeah, so that is what we're working on today. I debated about tagging Rachel, but I also know that she has an itty bitty baby, and like I was like, I'm not gonna make her, like, not that I would make her, but I'm not gonna bother be like, hey, can you come on the channel and do such as, she's literally got her hands full. She just made a person. So yeah, I figure she'll see it all when we post everything. All right, where did the page go? Where did the page go? Ah, there it is. Okay. Also, it is thread bound. You can see here. So you don't have to worry about like the pages falling out or anything. So, yeah. There we go. It's really bright, isn't it? Let's turn it down. Yeah, that's a little bit more accurate. All right. So let's talk paint, shall we? So today I am using the Winsor Newton Designer Gouache. However, I'm using these because I really, really like them, but I put 2 other links in the description for alternative, more cost-efficient gouache. So I don't have mine nearby at the moment. Hang on. Oh, Annie, hello. Hello, are we doing this? Hi. I guess we're doing this. Anyway, there is another brand. Oh, here they are. Here they are. Okay, I'll just grab one of each. Okay, so these are Winsor & Newton also. This is just if you just, did you just sneeze on my paint? She just sneezed. We're not drinking that. That's not Annie water. This is why I have a lid on my tea. Oh, awesome, Kim. Seriously? Every time? Do we need another book decoy? Honey, there is not enough room for the book and the paint. You're settling in. For the book and the paint and your decoy book. It's up on the wall right now. I'll have them done for next stream, so I'll pull it down. Madam. Okay. You know what? It's fine. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna show them the finished page, and then we will put this down as your decoy book. Will that be okay? Will that be acceptable? All right, this one's finished. Finished it last night. I really wanted, since it was my first mythographic page, so I was like, we really need to finish this. All right, we're gonna open it to a page we haven't done yet, and we're going to, thank you. We're gonna just slide this up here. Okay, look at that pretty book. Oh, it's so nice, and we've still got a butt. So nice and comfortable, and it's just for you. Oh boy, Annie. Oh boy, oh boy. And you know what? I just realized I forgot to grab my little spray bottle for this. I have it in the other room. I'm gonna go grab it real quick. So hang tight. Be entertained by Annie. And the decoy book. You good? Did you keep them entertained? Well, honestly, it wouldn't be the end of the world if she did drink it, because there's no actual paint in it right now. It's literally just tap water. All right, madam. Now don't. Okay, so we have this little camera on, but she's like moving it. Hang on. There we go. Okay. Hi. Hello. You can shift your tail just a little bit. Anyway, but that is finished. So anyway, are you serious? You guys, you do this every time. You've left me alone all morning, and yet you guys can't see him, but Paul's over here, and he's changed his mind. I think he's decided there just isn't enough room for it. Oh, Kim. But decoy book. Decoy. No, don't smell the paints. Decoy book. No, this. You guys, the decoy book isn't working. You're gonna make me have to start closing the door when I stream. Okay? Here. We're gonna. Oh, are you interested? Yes. Go find Paul. See what he's doing. Lots of chaos. Go. 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 Okay. Sweet. Paul's the decoy cat now. She really is. No, not the book. Seriously. Okay, cat hair off. All right, so what were we saying? We were saying, we were saying the paint. All right, so I'm using this today because I really enjoy it. And normally I'd probably hesitate, and I haven't opened it yet, but for Christmas, my mother-in-law actually got me a second backup set for this. So I actually have quite a bit to list. Now, there are two colors in my palette that words are hard. There are two colors in my palette that do not come in this set. So we have this purple and this green, which they're ones that I bought open stock. Let's see, the green one is, so that you've got the name here. There it is. Okay, so the green one is, this is the oxide of chromium. And this one is more of a warm green, while the green that comes with it, this one here is permanent. Hold on, so you guys can see. Permanent green middle is what this one is that comes with it. And then the additional one I got was oxide of chromium. Now I bought a couple additional colors, mostly for when I was doing the painting competition, because I didn't want to have to mix as many colors. I have it. I have the Throne of Glass coloring book. And then this one, the other one I got also for Christmas, is just light purple, and it's definitely a warmer purple. It's on kind of the more magenta side, and that's this one here. This little palette, it was something I got separately online. I might have the link for it in the description, but I don't recall. Anyway, I wanted a travel palette to bring with me, and this thing folds out and it's perfect. So these are the 10 colors that come in this set. This set, like I said, I have it linked below. This set here is about $48 before tax. They do, however, have a smaller set. So I have the link for these paints. These ones are also Winsor & Newton, but they're like the paints just underneath these ones. They're still good, so these would work. But these are the Winsor & Newton Gouache. And then alternatively, because there are more color choices, the Arteza Gouache is also good. I think, though, that this one is less expensive than these, but I don't remember. I do have the link for all three of these in the description. I have these ones marked as the one we're using, and then I have alternative links for these ones. So if you are new to gouache and wanting to get into it and you're not sure where to start, those are a great place. The other thing that I get that I really enjoy, so I don't think, yes, okay, the main sets do come with a zinc white, and it's another small tube like this one. This one is one that I got separately. Zinc white is good for lightening your colors, but if you're wanting white on top or highlights, I recommend this all the time, permanent white gouache. Even if you don't get any of the designer gouaches, I highly recommend this one just because it works great for highlights. Hang on. I'm telling you, with all that smoke, like my throat is so dry, so I will probably be taking a lot of drink breaks here. Also, it's still a little bit hot. Yeah, if I missed anyone, I apologize. As far as brushes that we're going to use today, I have a number of brushes. I have a selection. Some have been gifts, some I have gotten myself, but these are my current favorites. I use a lot more smaller sized brushes than I do larger ones. No worries. I hope you had a good time, Angela. So this one is a Princeton round number 10. We probably won't use this one or this one today. This one is a Fumui? Fui? It's the Fui paintbrush. Anyway, this is 12, this is a 10. I grabbed them just in case, but like I said, we probably won't use them. A lot of these I've gotten from Hobby Lobby, but a lot of them, like the ferrules, which is the metal part of the brush, whatever material they're using them, a lot of the ones at Hobby Lobby have the cancer warning, which I know is on everything, but Jeebus, I'd love to have peace of mind using my paintbrushes. So I am kind of particular. I really like the Winsor Newton Cotman brushes, which are these blue handled ones. So we got 1, 2, 3. I think I have another one floating in there, but these ones are the ones that I have out right now. So it is the 10, the 4, so it's a 10 flat, a 4 round, a 6 round, and a 1 round. I really like the 1s and 0s. Oh, nice, Kara. This one is a fine touch one that I've had for years from Hobby Lobby, kind of random. This one is a Hobby Lobby one. This is Master's Touch, and this is a half flat brush. Then we've got Royal and Langnickel. These ones I also got from Hobby Lobby, but they were on clearance, so I don't know where else you can get them. They are both a 0, but one is longer than the other. This is another the Fumui one. This one is a 4. This one actually came with my gelatos, but it is a flat angled brush, Faber-Castell, and the size of it has worn off the barrel, but it's that size. And then, let's see, the Van Gogh one I really like. It came with, it's by Royal Talons, but I want to say this actually came in my, it was one of those boxes that I reviewed from Upcrate. It was a brush in the Upcrate boxes, and I really like those. And then we have another Princeton brush that is a 10/0. It's probably the tiniest brush I own. It's slightly frayed, but once I put water on it, it's fine. I'm not gonna lie, my paintbrushes get put through the ringer. Bleck sells most brands of brushes. Okay, perfect. This one I think also came from Upcrate, and it's a Lineo 0. So that's kind of the why I don't use flat brushes all that often. I use mostly round brushes, and I like tiny detail brushes. So other things that you will need, and I know we've gone over a lot of this, but if for whatever reason somebody has like just shown up and they're like, no, absolutely nothing about paint. I'm going to take my ring off. My hands are swollen. These are the things that I like to have on hand. So I keep all my extra paints in a little basket. I probably won't need them today because I've got my paint full. Sometimes if the paint is too dry, I do like to put a little bit of fresh paint, like sometimes with the white. So I have got, I just don't remember. I think this is the permanent white and this one is the zinc white. I've got white here, which is generally where you keep the brush. I've got a little like foldable brush, but I use it to store more paint here. Well, since I'm talking about this here. So I've got the 2 whites in here. Of course, we've got some mixing trays. Scooch it back. There we go. We've got some mixing trays here and here. We've got the 2 additional colors that I added. The rest of these colors are primary blue, primary red. This one is the Spectrum Red. This one is the Permanent Yellow Deep. This one is the Primary Yellow. This one is the Ultramarine. This one is the Permanent Green Middle. Then we've got the Yellow Ochre. We've got the Ivory Black. And I did get another additional one. I was gonna say, because the brown didn't originally come in it. The brown that we have there is, this is the, I guess we don't need number 2 today. This is the Van Dyke Brown. Okay, so the added colors were the Van Dyke Brown, the light purple, and the oxide of chromium. Those are my other added colors that did not regularly come in this set. Yes, absolutely, you can use water in the paint. And that's actually, cats have the zoomies. They're just terrorizing everything out there. So I have my palette that I like to use. This is just a little spray bottle I think I got at Hobby Lobby, and it's just a mist spray. And usually before I start, I will spritz down because this is very much, this has dried. And you can do the same technique with watercolor. And so we'll let that water sit while we chat a little bit more about what we have. I usually have an old towel and pieces of old towel nearby that I cut up. You can use paper towels, obviously, or anything else. We just recently replaced our towels. Well, like slowly replaced our towels. Like when there was a good deal, it's like, oh, we'll get a couple towels. Anyway, we have finally replaced all of our towels. So our older towels, I have bogarted for the office, and I cut up in little pieces. Hi, Michelle. Oh, awesome. So towel, paints, palette, a glass or a jar or a cup for your water. Of course, you've got your paintbrushes. Ta-da! And then we've got our little spray bottle and our book. The other thing which I'm realizing I did not grab out is my heat gun, especially when I'm doing paint in a book that isn't like a watercolor paint or just isn't necessarily meant to hold water. I like to use the heat gun to dry in between layers because the more wet your paper is, the faster it will break down. Like I said, especially when you're using paint, not on this. So the key to using paint in your coloring books, is dry your layers in between and control your water. If it gets too soaked, then your paper will start to break down. Hang on, I'm plugging in the, oof, sounds like I'm under the table. It's because I was. So if you don't have a heat gun, I should have exclamation point heat gun. Maybe that could be the link for it. If you don't have one of these, or you don't want to go ahead and get one, a blow dryer will also work, or even just, I have this little USB fan that I keep on hand. It's great for drying my nails when I'm doing my nails, but also when I just get warm. So heat gun or a blow dryer or a fan, or just step away from your work and take a break while it dries. The other thing that we'll do at the end of this, and this is something, if you guys have been here a while, dang it, I was hoping that would work. I guess maybe I didn't create that. I should have a link for it in the description. If not, just search heat gun on Amazon or wherever you get most of your stuff online, and I'm sure it'll pop up. The other thing is, again, I learned this from Barbara Colors, is an iron at the very end of it, or even in between. If your paper is starting to warp or buckle too much, get a piece of computer paper, put it on top, set your iron heat on the lowest setting. It could, yeah, that's why I also recommend this, because this releases more heat and less air. But if you're in a pinch and you don't have anything, then yes. And also you have to understand, with this paper, it's much more absorbent. It goes so fast. So if you don't have puddles of paint on your paper, it's not really going to move it across the page. So, you know, put it on low, put it on warm. Right, Angela? I know, I can never skip that. It should. It's just air and heat, no different than blowing on it. It's just kind of the key thing with making sure that your book survives the water, is just dry in between layers. So what we're actually going to be doing is we're going to be kind of color blocking everything first, and then we'll start adding our details. So color blocking means I'm not going to be doing as much fine detail, so we use a slightly bigger brush for this. And look, you can see my floor there too. Yeah, so let's go ahead and jump in and get started. We got a little water on there for our color. Actually, I'm wondering if I want to use an angle brush for this one. These towels are all freshly trimmed, so like I keep getting fuzzies that explode onto the tail because I cut them yesterday. Let's see. This one is the 6. This one is the 4. Let's start with the 4. Let's start with the 4. All right, so for our color, now as far as our color kind of palette that we're going for today, if you just Google Multnomah Falls, and Multnomah is spelled Multnomah. This is a pretty popular place in Oregon. It's just absolutely gorgeous. In fact, Steve and I briefly considered getting married there. But it's really, really pretty. And that's kind of what we are sort of fashion. Obviously, Oregon is not tropical. Oregon is, well, evergreens. Blow dry work, but if you hold it too close, the page can, yes, yeah. So just make sure it's, yeah, the whole point is just before you add any more paint or water, make sure to dry in between your layers. Been there many times, right? It's so pretty. It's so, so pretty. But it's got this really kind of nice bridge over the waterfalls. Obviously not in this same shape, but it's that kind of idea. And this isn't like doxing because she said it before. She is from the Pacific, Rachel's from the Pacific Northwest area, or at least was. I can't remember. I think she's, anyway, beside the point. Multnomah Falls is in that area. Oh, nice, Miss Butterfly. Awesome. Right, Alex? Oh, it's so pretty. It's so, so pretty. All right, so now I'm not the kind of person that gets the page entirely wet before we jump in on this. You definitely can, but I don't, like I said, I don't like to add more moisture to the page than is necessary just because it's not watercolor paper and it can be a bit much. So, good morning, Josephine. How are you? All right, and see, this is another reason why a lot of my beverages have lids on them because I would totally dip my paintbrush in it. So colors that we are going to, here, let me make sure you guys can see the palette. That was the kind of the whole point here. I wonder, debating about zooming in on that. I want you to be able to see it. This is kind of like new setup of sorts. Oh, it's because hang on, hold on. I'm gonna see if I can zoom this in real quick. That way you guys can see. I know the contrast just went out on it. Give me a second. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay. Pop that up. Okay, now we're good. Like I said, I want you guys to be able to get a little bit better view. It's hard to fit everything on the screen, but at least this way you can kind of see it. There we go. All right, so first things first, right, Durban, so pretty. Do you have a protector sheet under your page? I do not. I do not. You definitely could, but I'm not too concerned about it, mostly because it's super thick paper and I fully expect it to, I don't think it's gonna bleed through, but you definitely can. I don't know, I guess this will maybe be a test for her book to see how well, I mean, we've done water on it before, but yeah, no, I would probably do that more for alcohol markers, but I think we'll be okay. Okay, so we have two blues that we're going to start with, probably a lighter blue. So this one is the primary blue. It's definitely the lighter of the two. So I'm not going to go straight to paper. First, I want to go ahead and kind of thin it out a little bit. Now, if you are unfamiliar with gouache, the difference between gouache and watercolor is it dries matte, which of course watercolor does, but it also is a bit more opaque. I feel like gouache and watercolor, it's kind of like gouache is if watercolor and acrylic got together and made a baby, this is what it would be. Okay, so we are getting a little bit of blue here. I don't want to go super dark. And like I said, we're just going to start by kind of color blocking in. Sounds good, Angela. Thanks for being here. So nice and light blue to begin with. This is just our first layer, but it kind of goes on like watercolor, but you can layer it. That being said, it does reactivate. So that's something to keep in mind when you're adding more color on top of it. It probably doesn't move as much as it would if it was on watercolor paper. The paper does make a big difference. And if you're a little bit concerned about controlling your water flow, you could always use a water brush, which is basically a paintbrush with a little tube attached to it. What am I saying? Yeah, we're using gouache. The glass is so thin, it's very musical when I tap it on the side. Okay, so it's starting to thin out already, so we're gonna get some more. Okay, I'm gonna get a little bit of this white. But yeah, I really enjoy using watercolors. Let's see, I'm trying to make sure I get in between in between these. There's gonna be a lot more white on this than there is blue. Oh, top, yeah. Yeah, that happens. I always have to remember to switch it. So I'm not staying, like I'm not lingering too long, but I am trying to kind of move quickly through it so that I don't oversaturate it. And yes, I am losing some of the paint every time I dip it in there, but if I want the right color, and you can't really use a palette knife with gouache. Like I said, it mixes kind of like watercolor does. Which is why gouache is always really great if you want to cover up white lines as well. I'm not being too specific at the moment. I'm just kind of, like I said, we're just sort of color blocking, so we're getting our main colors in. Oh, nice. Gosh, I haven't used watercolor pencils in ages. I think it's because when I think of paint, half the time I end up using the pencils like a palette anyway, like holding them and using a paintbrush off the pencils. Okay, this here is getting a little bit wet, so we're gonna pause. You can tell the more wet it's getting when the paper starts to buckle. Like it's going to buckle, it will. It's just a matter of how much. So hang on, we're gonna dry this now before we move on to the rest. And I think this is where sometimes you get a little bit of confusion between watercolor, like watercolor and ink tints and all of that. It's because ink tints does not reactivate. It's basically an ink, but with gouache and watercolor, depending on the quality of your paints, it does reactivate. Oh yes, for sure. Well, it's watercolor pencils, I feel like, are a really good introduction to using paints. And I don't know if the air is too loud. I'm hoping it's not. But watercolor pencils are a great way to kind of build up your confidence with them, because it's like once you add water to your paper, it's fairly permanent. I mean, obviously it reactivates a bit, but with watercolor pencils, up until you activate the pigment, you kind of have some wiggle room. Right, Josephine? It really is, Dee. In fact, I noticed, because I've been crocheting a fair amount in the evenings when I've got, you know, when I've just got downtime. Beats doom scrolling. But I did notice, like, I was getting a bit of the jokingly call it crocheter's elbow. But between that and coloring and another project I was working on, like, I've had a lot of the same repetitive movements, and I was just like, so yes, painting is going to be much easier on my joints. Like crochet elbow. Who would have thought that that's a thing? I just want to crochet. I got a bunch of yarn at Joann's. It wasn't like the best sale ever, but there was some stuff I wanted to get my hands on. But apparently, I haven't been there since a couple weeks ago, and apparently the stores are just full chaos at the moment. Hi, Celeste. I was thinking about that too. The weather's getting nicer, and so I was like, man, we should take the kids out and go hiking. But like, then I'm like, oh, but what about ticks? Because, you know, it's Texas. All right, so let's get some more of our blue mixed up here. Yeah, I like using this camera for paint mixing, because we don't really use it as a face cam when we're like in the middle of coloring anyway. So it's nice for you guys to be able to see what exactly I'm doing and how things are getting mixed. I'm not sure what that line is, but we're just gonna go with blue with all of this, and then we'll layer any rocks on top of it that we need to. Starting to get a little bit wet. We're gonna go ahead and dry this. Oh, 5 days overdue. Yeah, both the kids, they were born at 41 weeks and 1 day. So they both ended up being 8 days overdue. I'm like, really, guys? Well, I'm glad you're comfy, but you can leave anytime. Anytime at all. Hiking is good. We keep saying we need to take little Emily camping because we haven't like gone truly camping with them before. It's a lot easier to go camping regularly in Oregon, but Texas is just so complicated. But she does not like the idea. We need to get like an actual like travel trailer or something because she does not like the idea of like roughing it in a tent. Whatnot. She's like, yeah, nah, I'm good. Second, 5 days late. Third, 2 days early. Love it. My son was 10 days. My oldest daughter was 2 days. My twins were 8 to 9 weeks early. Yeah, but that's was that like to do with they were twins or yeah, twins do run in our family. Twins do run in our family, and one of my siblings has twins. So I remember when we had our second, my biggest one was like, how am I going to get them both in the car at the same time? You know, like managing the car seats because they weren't super far apart in age, but you know, we made it work. I got in a rhythm eventually. Yeah, I like the freedom of being able to layer over with gouache. It's nice. Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. 3 weeks early. Right by money, visit then. South. Aw. That's so nice. 3 and they're 20 mounts, a house full. Yeah, I can imagine. I used to think I wanted more than 2, but then I had my kids and I'm like, nope, I'm tired. I'm good now. So we'll take a look at the back of the page now that we have the paint on and we can see what it's doing. Also, I'm very carefully feeling this. Never hold your hand directly underneath your heat gun. Probably get burned. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the back of it. So we don't have any color bleed through. There's a little bit of crimping, but we can take care of a lot of that when we add our water, or when we iron it at the end. Hang on 1 second. Sorry, I had to clear my throat. I'm telling you, that smoke and everything yesterday was not pleasant. Literally, there was just like this brown haze over the sun. It was weird and gross. Anyway, all right. Let's see. Exclamation point food. Do I have one for that? I don't know if I have one for that. Okay, so let's see. I'm looking at the Multnomah Falls thing. So you'll see, like, naturally, it's not like actually super blue when you look at a waterfall. But again, this is tropical, so we could definitely add a little bit more. But I think what we're going to do now is we're going to go in with some grays. And we're going to start to kind of add depth to what we got going on here. So we're definitely going to grab some black. Let's use the Zero Lineo paintbrush. Okay, and we are going to grab some of our black and shift this over here so you guys can see a little bit more. And we are going to start mixing. We're going to add a little bit of white. A little bit of black goes a long way. And actually, let's add some green to it as well. And maybe just a touch more black. Okay. So we're going to start at the top here. Let's see, I'm kind of looking. A lot of the white is going to be contained at the top and where it's hitting at the bottom. So we're going to see more of the darker colors underneath, kind of in the middle. So that's where we're going to start with. So I like to do like kind of dabs and tiny little strokes because it allows me to get these layers on without reactivating too much the paint underneath, and it gives it kind of a nice texture. So we're gonna follow the lines of the waterfall as they are. And in fact, let's go ahead and zoom this in since we're just working on the top one at the moment. Okay. Like I said, we're just doing little strokes. And a lot of these black lines are probably gonna end up covered up under the paint. Be able to use this color for a little bit since we're not using a ton of it super fast. Make sure I've got this. All right, so yeah, we're just gonna keep going. Like I said, we used a little bit of black, some of the zinc white, some of the chromium oxide green. Okay. And it looks a little shaggy now, but I think if we've learned anything is to just trust the process. I don't know if this feels too bright. It is really bright outside. I'm gonna try lowering it just, oh, nope, that's the opposite direction. Yeah, that's a little bit more accurate. Okay. So we can have some at the top, but we are gonna have a lot of kind of white foam showing more there. And we use our permanent white when we do that. Saw me tell someone in watercolor, I was telling Jessica that you're streaming today when she woke up. Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, I honestly didn't decide what we were doing until until early. Like, I scheduled this last night because I was waiting to get it scheduled until Rachel's book arrived, and I honestly had no idea. I was kind of in the zone finishing that coloring page, and so I really had no idea what I wanted to use this morning. So after I, was done chauffeuring everyone around, I went ahead and sat down and like did a slow flip through the book, and I was just like, what do I want? Because last night there was just, I was working on that page, and the whole time I was like on edge. We were waiting for news to find out, do we need to evacuate, whatever else. Thankfully, they got the fire under control, so we were just fine. But I have to say, in the potential panic of, you got to get out of the house, grab what you can. I don't know if you guys would be disappointed in me, but pencils were not high on my list of things to rescue. I was trying to do quick panic of like, because I wasn't sure if we had 30 minutes or whatever, because I was just like, we got this evacuation thing. So I'm just, I was trying to, in my head, like we've got some external hard drives that have a lot of our important documents, lots of baby pictures of the kid, but those are usually in a centralized place. So like things that were making the cut for the emergency quick without me needing to think too hard bag were enough clothes for everyone for about 2 days, all of our medicines, all of the hard drives, and food, and chuck the cats in their carriers. And probably, yeah, because Shannon's just east of me, and I know they were getting some of that weather. But yeah, we had real strong winds here, and then we had some wildfires, and we got the evacuation notices, and it was this whole thing. Yeah, I know. I was really, well, I've never lived anywhere that had a fire warning. Sometimes it's like tornadoes or whatever, but I was just like, yeah, we need a go bag. It was crazy. The car was completely rocking. We keep our dumpster in our backyard where it's got 3 walls around it. So yes, we have the emergency kits where you have 3 walls around it, so it shouldn't be getting that much wind. And it was thumping against the house and like all of this stuff. Like it was crazy how windy it was. And it's interesting because like I didn't notice the haziness in the sky very much. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's probably fairly irresponsible of me, but when the emergency alert came through, usually like when we get those, it's gonna be like amber alerts. It's actually really interesting. One of the different things about here versus when we were in Oregon is, I swear, Oregon does not utilize, or at least when we lived there, it didn't utilize its amber alert system very much. And we noticed that they use it a lot more down here, which is good. But when I'm at home and I'm not going out, like, and I see an amber alert, I'm like, okay, well, I'm inside, so I'm not going to be seeing, anybody. So I just, usually swipe away at it or whatever. And I wasn't really thinking, and I saw an alert, and I'm like, oh, it's probably this, and I just swiped away.
Turns out it was the evacuation thing. Note to self, actually read the emergency alerts when they came through. And little Emily came to me. I was on the phone with my mom. She came to me and she's like, hey, did you see this? And of course, I have the Amber Alerts turned off on her phone because she would get really stressed out about them. But this one came through and I'm like, oh, honey, it's probably fine. And then I did stop and take a double take and I was like, hold up. That's kind of close. Why are we getting this what? I was like, Mom, can I call you back? And then that's when we started looking into it. And I looked outside and everything was brown and hazy. It didn't quite smell like smoke yet. Later in the evening, it smelled like smoke. And there are a lot of wildfires like over in West Texas. So I know we were getting some of that. But I mean, this was full on like almost, I don't know. It was eerie. It was eerie. It was like all brown. Everything was hazy. She really is, honestly. I love that about her. Like, I don't have to worry about anything. She keeps us in check. But yeah, so then I looked and I'm like, oh, crud. But yeah, so I called Steve because it was getting to be the end of the day. And I was like, what should we do about this? We couldn't exactly just like sit around and stare at a wall until we found out what it is. So he got home. And so he was in charge of watching the news while I went downstairs and made dinner. By that time, we had a go bag packed. So if it did come through that we had to leave, all we needed to do was grab the kids and grab the cats and jet, you know. But yeah, and then it came through that they had it under control and everything. But it was just weird and eerie. And I sent a video message to my you know, in the family group chat, and we were showing them the sky and whatnot. But yeah, it was super eerie, and I was like, well, this is a little unreal. And then it came through, and thankfully it came through that, you know, everything was fine you know, before we went to bed, so that was nice. They really do. So maybe that was like about the time, well, I mean, we got here like over a decade ago, but still, yeah, I just never really noticed Oregon using them that much. Okay, so we're actually just going to focus on this one waterfall right now because I think it's going to be easier than moving all over the place. So now let's go ahead and we're actually going to use some darker black. And I'll admit, I'm kind of making this up as we go along, but I know what I want to go for. So we're just kind of rolling with it. So I'm just mixing up a little bit more black. Yeah, exactly. And basically, little Emily's like, well, if we need to go, where are we going to go? And I'm like, away. In the opposite direction of the fire. Sounds good, Britt. Thanks for being here. We didn't really have a location per se, but just away, away from the flames. But yeah, and like I said, instinctually, my only thought was to grab the kids, clothes enough for us for a couple of days, the cats, and everyone's medicine, and we'll deal with the rest another time. Ooh, yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Thanks, Jeanette. So yeah, it was a little surreal, and what with, you know, the more recent California fires, like those suckers travel fast, especially with such high winds as we had yesterday. So yeah, I was just a touch freaked out. In fact, little Emily handled it way better. Like normally this kind of thing, she would get like really stressed out and be really scared. You know, like it's the same thing that happens like when we have tornado warnings and we have to go, you know, lockdown or whatever. But she was really mature about it, and she distracted little Steve while I went and got some clothes out of his room to put in the go bag, and she just was rolling with it. She was very mature about it, and I was very impressed. It's that much harder when you're trying to get ready for something, but without letting the kids know that you're getting ready for something. But thankfully, all was taken care of. There were no casualties that I heard of or anything, and they got it all squared away within 3 or 4 hours, so that was good. But it was touch and go there for a minute. I was like, well, this is unnerving, but okay. I guess this is what's happening now. But yeah, and I woke up this morning, my throat was just killing me. Like I said, I'm not sick, but there was just a lot of, we got all the air air purifiers on and everything, and had those going. They're still going. But yeah, my throat was like, yeah, nah, we not doing this. All right, let's add a little bit more blue now. Let's add a little bit of blue with just a touch of the green. I like that. That's a real nice, let's see if I can show you guys real quick. If I can get my finger in it. There we go, sorry for the shaky hands. There you go. It's got a nice kind of teal color a little bit. Yeah. Oh, the humidifier, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I probably could get that one going. Okay, so let's see, let's do just a few streaks of that in here. So we're going to be putting a lot of white over the top of this too. So it will all kind of work out. Now, depending on how far we get today, I would do something like these other two waterfalls off stream because it's similar, but I will definitely wait to do like the river and stuff with you guys because it's going to look different. Yeah, mostly I was only grabbing things that could not be quickly replaced aside from the clothes, but like if we had nothing but these, then what we're wearing, like I was like, we at least need a change or two of clothes. And then other things like the medicines. Of course, they can eventually all be replaced, but we kind of need our medicines. So medicines and yeah, like I said, the hard drives and the cats and the kids. Kids top of the list. Don't worry, that was not in any particular, not in any particular order. But Steve was good because I kind of have the sort of anxiety where I'm just like, well, we can't do anything till we hear, right? Like I would just sit and stare at the news and be like, oh, dinner time has come and gone. So he was in charge of watching the news and keeping a close eye if anything changes or if we need to go or whatever. But thankfully, they got it all taken care of pretty quick. Okay, so let's move on to some, let's see, which one is I think the permanent white is actually this one that I have down here. So the zinc white is here, permanent white is here. See, the paint palette's been used a lot. Everything's kind of stained. Exactly, yeah. All right, actually, instead of the super tiny one, let's go with, do I want to use the 4? I feel like the 4 is going to be a little clumsy. But maybe. This one's also a 0, but it's kind of long. No, let's start with the 4. Let's start with the 4. We're going to get everything. Since we're just using the white, I'm not worried about mixing it on the palette at all. Little paintbrush fuzzy there. There we go. Okay. So yeah, and I've got one of those little emergency handheld radios. It's got a USB port, so worst case scenario, you can actually charge it by cranking, or it's got a tiny little solar power on the top, and it's got like an emergency alert system radio on it. So we could theoretically use that as like an emergency light or, you know, charging the phone, listening to, you know, all of the emergency news. So I actually have one of those, which is nice and peace of mind. When it gets in the hotter months, we also have, little USB charged like AC mini coolers and like all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm not like a full-on prepper, but I'm telling you, after multiple runs on the grocery store in 1 year and more than one tornado touching down where we were at, I was like, I need a little bit of something. Snowpocalypse was a pretty big nightmare. So I was like, I need something, a little bit of something to give me some peace of mind here. So I'm just like doing little dots for now. We're going to be bringing that down into streaks, but we'll probably use the smaller paintbrush for that. And actually, yeah, we'll do a few here, but I think in between these bridge slats, we're going to need to break out the small paintbrush for sure. Yeah. So let's go ahead and grab the white one. We're going to get, or the small one, this is the 0. We're going to get a little bit of that white. Okay. And we are going to start with some white here. We're not going to do it over everything because I still want, you know, there to be some contrast in it, but there's going to be a number of spots. I'm kind of strategically placing them over the lines too because that's going to help them disappear. And then I didn't really think about, ooh, yeah, okay, stay safe. Stay safe. I didn't really think about light source in this one. I think we'll definitely add some highlights based on where I want the light to be coming from. So some of the paint absorbs some of the color behind it, so that's why I like to do multiple layers of white to kind of build up that contrast. There we go. Let's see, we're definitely going to have some on the edge of this one because we want that to stand out from the other waterfalls. First moved here in the mountains, I kept my pencils, books, a center suitcase lined up in the hallway through the fire season. It's really not a bad idea. We haven't ever really had to deal much, again, knock on wood. We haven't ever really had to deal much with fire season. It's definitely new. We have a lot more like hurricane, tornado season kind of thing. So a lot of this is kind of newish for us, but I definitely don't get as concerned as I used to. Okay, good. So far, so good. Let's see. Okay, let's see. We need to do some more solid white. So I'm going to concentrate a little bit more on some of these areas here. Because if you look at a waterfall, you just see a lot of white when it's all coming down. You don't see a ton of blue. Especially for a waterfall this big, like it's going to be kind of raging and whatnot. And it'll pop that much more once we get the rest of the color down. Like I said, I haven't planned any of this out. I just kind of know what I want from it. Could add a little fish peeking out. It's a salmon. Making its way back up a giant waterfall. So we had rain like 2 days ago for like, they kept saying like, oh, it's going to storm. It's going to this, it's going to that. And we had rain really hard for like 10 minutes and then it was gone. And I was like, oh, well, we kind of overhyped that one a bit, didn't we? It's like, well then, glad I didn't panic. So no, we did not have as much. Now, I'm not fully covering this in white, but we are adding some here. See, like this, a lot of this is going to be white here as well. Oh, I think the music stopped. Started at 8:30 last night and didn't last all night. Yeah, it was pretty, honestly, we probably could have used more rain considering the fire stuff yesterday. Like it's pretty normal to get a haze. Like I know that like Pacific Northwest had a lot of haze, you know, when the California fires were going through, but it's just not something that's super common out here. All right, I want to get some more of this kind of grayish color that we had already mixed. And I actually want to do, because we don't know where the waterfall is stopping, but I think we'll just continue it on this side. And I'm just using that kind of grayish green that we mixed up. I don't know, what would I call this? It's got the green in it, but like, I wouldn't call it a warm gray. Maybe like a French gray? Definitely didn't just put my hand in that. And for these areas where it's kind of absorbing the white, we will go back over it once everything is dry, which actually it's probably going to be a good idea to go ahead and dry this right now. So let's do that real quick. Yeah, the wind's the main issue here. It used to be, we now have 3 months of smoke and fires we can predictably plan for now. Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy how hazy it was. Which is funny because like, even now, it's cleared even more than it was this morning. Like there's not a cloud in the sky right now, full blue skies. The fire fallout from Oregon and Canada too, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Let's go in with some dark blue, shall we? I wanna add in some of that. This is the ultramarine. I mean, and there's nothing that says that you have to have like an exactly perfect waterfall. Like it's your waterfall. You do what you want with it. Yeah, I like that. But we're gonna bring some more of that blue out here, so it's not just like this one section. And this is just the straight blue. Like, I haven't mixed it with anything else. Like I said, I'm not too concerned about if I go over the lines on the leaves or anything, just because we are going to be layering on top of that. Okay, we're going to get back to our white. Cover up the blue just a little bit where the lines were a touch harsh. Okay, let's see. It's not perfect straight lines, like you, unless it's like one of those images, you know, where the shutter is open for a long time and you get those really smooth lines on waterfalls. Like that's if you're doing that style of photography. But most of the time, waterfalls do not have smooth straight lines. It's starting to take shape. Up to 50. I don't know exactly how high the winds got here. I mean, it was enough that it was literally knocking everything out. Oh my gosh, there's a stop. There's a stop that I go by, and it had one of those stop signs where it's got these solar panels on top because it's like blinking all the time. Anyway, it got completely ripped out of its cement hole, or however, I don't know if somebody just didn't do a good job putting it in, but it was completely out yesterday and laying down. We're like, oh, that's safe. That's right. You guys still have some snow, huh? Not to mention, once we have all this color down, we can kind of add some very light kind of steam, kind of spray coming from the waterfalls that would kind of like go up here. And we can do like a very light kind of white there. But yeah, I was just in the mood for paint. So that is what we are doing. All right, let's get some of this black, mix it in with our gray again, get a little bit of ultramarine. Okay, and let's very carefully fill in this spot. Not really worried about streaks right now. It's kind of like the background of the waterfall that sort of fades into the background. It's not getting all that much detail. We might add like a little bit, but otherwise. Look at me using all this black. Who even am I? Get a little bit here. When does that Hey Mitch book come out? I did end up using my credit to pre-order it. Definitely excited to read that story. Maybe it's just because I like Woody Harrelson. I wonder if I would have liked the Hey Mitch characters much if it had been somebody else. Oh, just a reminder too, members, if you haven't gotten it, this month's members download is up there. I was a little delayed on the first, everything just like happened at once. Like we had a cool, nice stream on Friday, and then Saturday I had to go do a thing for little Emily, and then she got sick, and I was like, oh, this is fun. Oh, and the country's on fire. All right, well, we'll just add that to the list. Okay. Now let's get a little bit more of our white. How are we doing on time? All right, doing all right. My throat's holding out. It doesn't hurt any more than it did when we started, so I'm gonna count that as a win. Did we work the entire time on a waterfall at this point? Yes, we have. Am I fine with that? Absolutely. Tea is almost gone. Okay, let's see. I want to add some light reflection on it. And I think, let's have our light source coming from the right-hand side. So we're gonna grab, we've got, there we go. So we've got all these colors here. We're gonna grab this yellow, which is the primary yellow. Are you guys liking this little more constant secondary camera to see the paint mixing? I feel like we don't get to see the paint mixing enough when we're doing this kind of stuff. I don't know if it actually helps anyone, because that's the thing. It's like, I could say the colors of the paint that I'm using, but you know, most of the time I'm mixing up my own colors. So I assume that the closest I can get to telling you the colors is by allowing you to see. You like it? Okay, yeah, by allowing you to see what it is that I'm mixing. So I'm grabbing some of that zinc white, a little bit more. Back for a little while, nice. Okay, good, 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 I'm glad. Blizzard and super high winds, oof, yeah, that's definitely a stay indoors if you can. Hi, Audrey. Okay, so let's go ahead, we're gonna do some dots at the top of the waterfall. We'll also put white over this, so it's not just gonna be all yellow on top, but what I am trying to do is to get, like, maybe it's a sunrise, and so we have some kind of strong light yellow color coming from the sun. So we're going to add some of that here where we would be getting that, because we're going to add some of that yellow to the leaves as well. Okay, let's do a little bit down here. Ah, thanks, Angela. Schools were canceled today. Yeah, I don't blame them. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get our permanent white now. And then we'll dry, and just as a check-in, we'll look on the back of the page to see how it's doing. A bit more of that white. Now, if you're using fresh paint out of the tubes, you might not need to add as much water as I'm doing, but because I reactivate this palette all the time, I'm probably using more water than you would, and my paint is actually probably a little bit thinner as well because of it. So just something to keep in mind. If you are breaking out paints for the first time and everything's pretty wet, definitely use at your discretion what you feel works best for your particular page. Okay. Okay, I think I'm happy with that for now. But once we have other things done around it, then we'll probably go ahead and add other little bits. Okay, let's go ahead and dry this, because right now everything's wet enough that I'm not going to get that stark white on top of the yellow that I want. So we're going to come back to that. We're going to come back to that. Thanks, Kara. Let's get this thoroughly dried first. And then I think we'll start in... This is dried, we can rest our hand on it, but I think we're going to start in on some of the palm trees next to it. We have some time still. Okay, I think we're good. Very warm paper. Oh, I'm glad. Okay, so as you can see, we have some of that kind of crimping and curling, but no bleed through, no bleed through. And a big part of that is because we're not soaking. Oh, it's so handy, Kara. I can't paint without it, honestly. I even use it when I'm doing like a canvas painting. We got a little bit of tea left in there. Okay, so let's work on this palm tree a little bit. So I know I said I was looking at like Multnomah Falls, but obviously Multnomah Falls doesn't really have palm trees. It has evergreen trees. Sorry, I'm trying to pull my pictures up here. But you can still kind of plan kind of with, sorry, thought my phone was going off. I was like, hold up. Something is buzzing. Is it me? You hear that like vibrate from far away? No, we're good. Extra granny duties, love it. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're gonna grab our Winsor Newton Cotman number 4. And I definitely wanna use some warmer green colors. So we're gonna grab that chromium oxide green that we were using before. It's real nice. I mean, I have sound filters on, so you guys don't quite hear it as loud as it is. But yeah, it's really not bad. This one is the Chandler tool. Like I said, I think I have it in the description. Yeah, this is just a Chandler tool one. I've had it for a good number of years. I think I got it on Amazon. I don't think this specific one is on Amazon anymore, but there's a lot of very similar ones. Hi, Love Pencil, welcome. We are just doing some watercoloring today. All right, so there's that green, but I want to add a little bit of that yellow to it, and then we're going to add some white because I want it to have that kind of nice warm color on the tips of the fronds here. So we're going to grab some of our white, and I think we'll start with that. So we are going to get some of this light, kind of warm yellowish green color, quite a chartreuse, on the edges. I said our light source is coming from the right hand side, so that those sides of the leaves are going to get most of this lighter kind of yellow green. I didn't mix all that much up, so we're just kind of quickly adding it to the sides where we've got the sun coming through. This one's probably the most hidden, so it's not going to have a ton. So we'll just put that there. All right, now let's grab our green again. And I'm putting them here because I want to thin it out just a little bit. Okay, and we'll start adding that in. This is just our color blocking again. We're just kind of getting our colors placed where we want it to be. You know, alternatively, if you didn't want to deal with too much of the warping, there's a few things you can do with the paper, because like I can already feel that it's buckling. But for one of the things, you can get butterfly clips and place, you know, kind of hook your, I'll show you here in a second because I think I've got some near me. You can kind of clip your pages to the book. Let's see, do I've got, binder clips here. Okay, so I got these little butterfly clips. Oh yes, a heat gun is, oh yeah, okay, so heat gun is, yeah, it's much hotter. So think of it as a heat gun concentrates on putting more heat out, and a blow dryer concentrates on putting more air out. However, if you don't have a heat gun and all you have is a blow dryer, that would be fine. Just make sure you don't have like puddles of paint. So what you can do is put your butterfly clips on the pages where you think it'll warp, or you could always cut the page out and use washi tape or painter's tape and tape down the sides. The only thing I'm careful about with these butterfly clips is if you have some colorful ones, like I want to make sure I'm using one that isn't going to leave any marks on it. These are okay. It probably will indent the page a little bit, but it's not going to be detrimental to your page. It's not like we're selling these pages. They're just for us. So if there's dents on it that only we can see, it's not a big deal. So, or just using that straight up chromium oxide green, I think is the name of it. And that's last of the tea. Excuse me. Sorry, it's a loose leaf tea, and so even though it's a loose leaf tea and I use the strainer, it usually has a little bit of the dregs down at the bottom. I swallowed some. Not that it's bad for you, it just like, oh, that wasn't a pleasant sensation. All right, it's great tea though. Okay. What, the tea? Yes. Okay. All right, so we're just adding this color here. Like I said, this is just our base color. Now what we could do actually is we could pull up a picture on Google of a palm tree so I can get some of the striations on the leaves correct. Let's see. Oh, nice, Angela. Yeah, I'm hoping to get the rest of the charms put up this week. Let's see, let's look up palm tree. Okay, so we're right on the colors. It's pretty warm. Yellow on the tips. Base of the stalk here is more of a yellowish color. So I think we're on the right track. So let's go ahead. I do want to use a little bit of our cooler green that we have here. This one is the permanent green middle. So we're gonna use this one, but we're also gonna make it a little bit darker. So let's see. We're gonna get a little bit more here. Oh, this one? No, there we go. This one? Yeah, this was Starbucks clearance. I don't like using it for my coffee because it's not big enough. All right, so we're going to use our little spray here. We're also going to be bringing in just a little bit of black, maybe some blue. All right. I don't generally like using the small ones for mixing because it can fray the edges, but I think if we're careful, it'll be okay. So we're going to put some of this green here. Let's see. It's really bright, so that's not quite what we're going for because we want a little bit more subtle. So we're going to get a bit more black. Like I said, my paint is a little bit more thinned out than yours probably is if you're using it fresh out of tube. That was just a little bit of the brown. Let's get a bit more black. That's getting closer. Let's get a little bit of white. Closer. That was probably a bit too much white, so we're going to grab some more green again. And maybe just a touch of black. Okay, yeah, I think I'm happy with that. Oh, thanks, Josephine. Oh, you need tea and some breakfast. Breakfast is good. Okay, so now I'm going to avoid the middle because from the pictures that I looked up, the middle is a little bit more yellowish. So we are just going to start with some little strokes at the base here. Okay. Same thing for this one. Okay, that's fair, that's fair. Okay, now let's go ahead and grab some of that chrome oxide. It's pretty dark. We're going to add a little bit of white to it. There we go. Okay. Not a huge difference right now. I can see more of like my own difference up close. But we're not quite done with it. Okay, we're going to get some more of the chrome oxide green. I'm going to add a little bit of the yellow. A bit more. And a little bit more. Like I said, mine's dry right now and I'm reactivating it, so it takes a little bit more for me to get the amount of pigment that I want. There we go, that's better. And we're going to add just a little bit of white. Well, that white went a long way, but I'm okay with this color. Ooh, more coffee. I'll probably have some. I usually grab my second cup of coffee of the day before I go to pick the kids up. Okay. And again, by the time we're done with this, we probably will have gone over a lot of the black lines. Now, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to do off stream just with everything we have going on, but I will try. We still got some time. We still got like 30 minutes, but I will try and get some like caught up on stuff that we've already painted so we can move further along with the page. There we go. Okay. Now we're just going to get a little bit of that chromium oxide. Clean the brush. It's kind of the nice thing with reactivating it is you can just move around some of the pigment on there. Let's go ahead and use some of that green that we mixed up before. Where'd my water go? I need to swap out this empty teacup for water. There we go. Oh, adding an inky butterfly, nice. Okay, so do that green, but I think I actually want, let's get a little bit more black mixed in with this. I think I want it a little bit darker. Yeah, that's a bit better. Okay, do the same thing on this side. Like I said, our light source is coming from the right-hand side. Hi, Callie. Oh, fun, Angela. A I've done buddy colors in the past, but like I get stressed out because I feel bad because like I take too long to do my pages. I'm sorry. I don't remember the last time I've done one. Okay. We're gonna dry this here in a second because I've added a lot of paint on this leaf and I can see the page starting to buckle a bit. So we're gonna dry this real quick before we add anything else to it. Oh, nice. Like I said, the more water you put down, the faster it's going to break down. Twilight Garden, nice. Oh yeah, if you guys missed it, I can show that finished mythographic page again if you want. Okay, I think that's pretty dry. Okay, so now I want to get a little bit more lighter colors on the end. So we're going to go back to this yellow green that we have, but we're actually going to add some more white to it. And this is where the teeny tiny details are going to come into play. And in fact, we're going to switch paintbrush. And this is our 10/0, literally the smallest paintbrush I have. Let's see how well it works. It can't hold that much water and it's a little frayed, so it's been put through the ringer. At some point I need to get a replacement for it. But what I want to do is get the very edges of this. Careful not to put your hand in it like I did. It's never an issue of me putting my hand in it on the page. It's when I put my hand in the palette and then get it on the page. That's fairly common for me. Now, I know a lot of like palm trees have more kind of leaves coming off the palms themselves. But that's when you just take a little bit of creative license and, you know, accept that this isn't going to look exactly the way a palm tree looks. You're just making it look to where you want it to look for the page. Okay. Ooh, double page spread, nice. Oh, I started the last page you did. Oh, fun. Okay, cool. Yeah. As soon as we're done with this leaf, I'll pull it out and show it. I did post it on Instagram, but I haven't posted it on YouTube at all. All right, let's get our green again, that kind of cooler green that we mixed up. Bring that into that lighter green that we've been placing down. Okay, a couple streaks there, clean brush. Thin it out, drag it just a little bit. Okay. Then I want to get some of that kind of gray that we already mixed up. Do I want more than that? Yes, we're going to add more black to that. Okay. Usually when I'm doing it too, like I'll mix it. Oh, thank you. When I mix it, so I usually go in with a fresh brush. I dab it because there's already water in here. I mix it, but then what I also do is rather than just mixing and going, because there could be a bit much on it, I kind of drag it on the palette a little bit because that removes a little bit of the excess. Then, that's probably better. And then I won't add a ton. Once it's on here, then I can clean my brush and I can kind of move it around just a little bit. So clean, dab on the towel, and I just soften the edge. There we go. Now we have this part empty here. I want to do a lighter green. Oh, thanks, Kim. So now we're going to grab more of our chromium oxide, and this has gotten pretty light, so let's just start a new color that's right here. Okay. And we're going to grab that yellow again. And in fact, so we don't just end up with a really bright color, we're going to grab a little bit of this. What was this? This was the yellow ochre. Okay. And we're going to mix some of that in there. Oh, that's a nice pea soupy color, isn't it? When you cover white lines, is it a size 0 brush usually? Yes. Yeah, I usually use the tiniest brush that I have the most control over. Okay, so now, there we go, sorry about that. gonna bring this up and across on here. It came a little bit more brown than I intended, but we're gonna make it work. Okay, we're gonna clean up the edge right there. All right, let's grab some of that chromium oxide, just a bit, at the base. Okay, now we're gonna grab our teeny tiny brush. We're gonna grab this yellow that we already mixed. And then we're going to very carefully, it's not a perfect line. I also have to compensate because some days my hands shake worse than others. It's been pretty good lately, but for whatever reason in the last couple of days it's been shaking a bit more. So my lines are maybe not as straight as your lines would be. Can I zoom in anymore? No, that's good. So then when it's all kind of rumply like that, I'm gonna take the now clean brush with just a little bit of water and I'm just gonna smooth that edge just a bit. Now, if there's anything else you wanna do to like adding details, we could actually go in, grab some more of this zinc white in the corner of this little yellowish that we made. So it's, you know, pretty thinned out at this point. It's hard for you guys to see, but there is a little bit yellow. It's good as water media from, ooh, yeah, that worked. I found a cheap set of gouache paint at Five Below. I haven't tried it yet to see how the quality, but I'm inspired. Oh, I'm so glad, Callie. Let me know how you like it. So I want to add just a little bit of texture on this side where the light is. My Discord is going off. Sorry about that, guys. Do I even have it open? I do have it open. That's my bad. That's why it's going off. Okay. Hopefully that works. Okay. So clean brush now. I want to smooth some of these edges. Just a little bit of water. Now we've added a fair amount of paint on this leaf, so what we can actually do, we're going to undo these butterfly clips so we can look at the back of it and see how it's looking. Here, let's zoom out. So this is where the leaf is at right here. Just a little bit of crimping. You can kind of see it on the side, but no bleed through of the color. So that works. Okay, we're not quite done with it. I want to add just a little bit more of the chromium oxide. Just the straight color. Okay. Just a little bit. Now we're going to clean. Now I'll zoom in real close so you can see what's going on with this brush and why, even though it's a tiny brush, it makes it difficult. So let's see if we can get this in focus. All right, this is a very well-loved brush. It's kind of hard to see, but do you see that little, here we go, fiber kind of sticking out? I'm really rough with my brushes, you guys, and that's what happens. Probably any like professional, like painter, artist would probably cringe at my brushes, but they're well-loved. Yeah, I don't see why not. If you're talking about the little containers, what I would recommend, if they're all wrapped up, sorry if I sound muffled, it's because I'm under here getting some watercolors. Okay, so for instance, this was my watercolor I teased the set. It's dusty, so I haven't used it in a little bit. But when you get these sets, they come with all of these tiny little half pans. Full pans are bigger, but little half pans, and they'll come individually wrapped. So what I would recommend, if the name, I probably could. If you want to remember what name it is, let's see if I've got my swatch chart sitting here. Not sure where it's at. Okay, well normally if you have a swatch chart, what you're gonna wanna do is put all of your paints, like these ones kind of clip into place, put all of your paints in the order you want them to be in. Then when you're unwrapping them, mark down what the names of the paints are, keep them in this order, and then swatch them in this order. So even though these obviously don't have any names on it, and it's a fair amount of colors to keep track of, you'll still be able to kind of keep track of it. And if for whatever reason you drop it and all the little pans go flying, you can always do like new swatches on a separate sheet and match them up, and so you'll still be able to tell what's what on there. So yeah, if they're little blocks, take them off. It's fine. If you want to keep track of what's what, then I would just say swatch them. Okay, let's see. We've done a leaf. Let's do a little bit of the trunk. Let's do a little bit of the trunk. So let's see. Let's look at the palm tree trunk. So definitely like a lighter brown, some horizontal stripes. Kind of depends on the palm tree. But if we're going with like your typical, you know, desert island with, you know, the kind of bendy ones, we're going to do kind of like a lighter brown. So of the colors that we have the brown that I got separately, which is the Van Dyke brown. So let's zoom back in real quick. All right, we're going to do a little bit of this trunk here. So we're going to grab some of the Van Dyke brown. Okay, we're going to put that there. A little bit more. We don't need to do a ton because it's going to come out pretty light. Then we're going to grab our zinc white, which is what I like to use for mixing. Now, it's a little bit too red for me right now, so actually, let's grab some of this gray. Closer, but let's grab some of this ochre. I'm not worried about mixing up too much paint because we have just a small thing to do. I think my Discord's still going off. I need to like thoroughly close the program. Okay, try and ignore the Discord stuff so I can do this with you instead. All right, that was a little bit of white. Let's get a little bit of the ochre. Now I've gone too far. Now it's too yellow, so let's grab some more of the gray. Ooh, it's getting closer. A little bit of white. Like I have a color in my head that I want to use, and like I'll know it when I see it. Let's get a little bit more of the gray. A little bit more of the white. Touch more gray. Okay, I think I'm okay with that. All right, let's go and swap back here. All right, this is a lot of paint, so we're going to be careful. So we are just going to add this as our base color for the trunk. Now let's see, does it continue down? This is part of, okay, I think this is all we need to worry about for the trunk. Okay. There we go. I'm going to clean this because we need to move back to our size 0. We're going to get a little bit of that brown we just mixed up. There we go. And color up those black lines if you want. Kind of went over it a bit, but that's okay. All right, now we're going to grab some of this gray that we already had mixed up. And we're not going to do a ton because right now the trunk is very wet, so we're just going to get a few shadows put in. Okay. I'm not too worried about where I went over the line here because we still have like the background to add and everything. But I do want to soften this edge just a bit before we dry it. But one of the things you can tell, I don't know if you can see it, but one of the other ways you can tell if your paper is starting to get too much water, and it may be too much of a detail, like too tiny of a detail for you guys to see. Okay. So where this black is, I know it's going to move, but I'm going to show you and then I'll hold it still so you can see. What you're looking for is like when you can almost see the tiny individual fibers happen where it's not smooth, and it's almost like you're seeing the texture of the paper. That is like where the paper is starting to break down. When you can start to see the individual fibers, kind of like it's almost pilling up a little bit. When you can start to feel the individual fibers, that's your paper telling you, hey, too much water, you need to stop and you need to dry. So things to keep an eye out for. And remember, a lot of times your paint is going to dry darker than when you put it on initially. I can feel it's still just a little bit damp. So I want to make sure it's completely dry. You can also, if it's really wet, you can also add a little bit of heat to the like the back side of the paper. Okay. Now is when we're going to go in with some more of our details. So we've got these black lines up. I'm not too concerned about covering them, but just to probably keep everything consistent, we will. Now I'm grabbing some of the zinc white, and it has a little bit of the brown left over, so it's not like truly white, but it kind of works for what we're doing. So I want to try and get some of those horizontal lines going. So we're going to start with just adding some trunk texture in kind of horizontal markings. keeping in mind where our shadows are. We're not going to see as much of this light color. Now, that was with the zinc white. So do you see how it's really not standing out all that much? Now, this is when we're going to go in with our permanent white. And we should be able to see it a little bit better. Not a ton, because it's still pretty wet, but enough that you can say, oh, hey, look, there's some lighter stuff there. Okay. There we go. Now we're going to go in with some brown. So we're going to grab some of that Van Dyke brown. Okay. We're going to put it on the same section of the palette that we kind of mixed our other one. We're going to put it over here. We're going to grab some of this lighter brown, put it there. We're going to grab some of that gray again. And that's actually a pretty good color. Right, Josephine? I feel you. Things are so crazy busy. Hang on. What happened? Did I miss something? Let's see. Okay, we're good. All right, so now we got that darker brown. Okay, and I'm bringing in with some of those horizontal lines. However, I'm not making them all equally wide, kind of staggering it a little bit. Also trying not to make it look like tiger stripes either, so. Go back in, adjust how you want. Okay, now let's get a little bit of this ochre. And bring it over here, mix it in with some of that lighter color that we did already. And we're going to add some of that texture here. We can still see the original color that we did underneath. But one of the things we're going to do, since this is kind of, oh, words. I want to blend this darker brown and this kind of ochre together a little bit more. So I grabbed just a little bit of it while that ochre was still wet. And bringing in just a bit more. Now let's go in with a little bit more white again. Okay. And right along that edge. And you can always add more texture to it later, but I really like kind of doing the tap, tap, tap kind of deal to it. All right. I mean, that's not bad. We got some color blocking done today, got a good chunk of the waterfall, so I can try and catch up on the other waterfalls. I'm not promising anything because, like, we've only got like 2 days until Friday, but I will try and get what I can done. It's 11:51, but we have just no time for some words on stream. Thanks. Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty good start to it. I mean, we got a whole page still to go. We got a lot of rocks. That's going to be fun. We're going to do some greens and some grays. And I think by the time it's done, it's really neat. If you were feeling super ambitious, you could always do like a sunrise background or something, because we'll have some nice strong yellows. There's still going to be more white that goes on top of this. But yeah, I think we have a really good start to this. Thank you. Sounds good, everyone. Thanks for hanging out. All right, let's pull up our words on stream. Oh, while we're doing that, I'll pull out, where did I put it? It was the decoy book. I chucked it. That's why. Hang on. I forgot. I chucked the decoy book. Well, not chucked it, but I definitely gave it a gentle toss to the floor when Annie immediately came in and tried to sit on this. Thank you. So this was, if you missed it, this is, let's pull a page. There we go. That was that final mythographic page. All right, let's pause the music. Go. Let's go over here. So yeah, that was all done. Thank you. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right in. Look at that, level 31 is our record. Will today be the day? I don't know. We shall see. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Sue. All righty, let's jump right in. If you have not played before, it's score. You just put in your word guesses in chat, and it scores like Scrabble. Taupe. Taupe is a word. There we go. Taped. Nice. Adept. What is? Oh, update. UPDATE. Oh no, I'm still locked out. Oh no, that worked. Okay. I thought I typed too early. Update. There we go. What about pate? P-A-T-E. Oh, peat, like peat moss. Yep. There you go. Got the pate. Let's see. Dupe. There we go. Okay, so it's gonna either start with D or an A. A-T-E-P, maybe? I don't know. Duet, date. What about D-A-P-E? I don't know if that's a word. A-T-E-D? Ated? Oh, aped. Well done. But look at that, we skipped 5 levels. Like I said, 31 is the level to beat today. I believe in us. Well, I see state, obviously. Taste. Oh, a test. A test. A-T-T-E-S-T. A test. I'm still locked out. There we go. A test. There we go. Oh, the word test by itself. Ooh, look at us blowing through it. Love it. Let's see. Eats, east. Yup. Is tase T-A-S-E or is that spelled with a Z? I don't know. Okay. Seat. It's all gonna be 4-letter words. Tease, set. What about just Kate? Got east, eats. E-T-T-S? A-T-N-T? I was thinking tet as in tete-a-tete, but that's T-E-T-E, I believe. Tats, stet, nice. We have another S-E. Seta, interesting. Okay. Sate. ETAs. Dang, guys. We're level 31's looking pretty good. All right, level 11. For that one, we had Butterflies, Linda, and Josephine. Well done. Oh. Well, that one's nicely arranged, isn't it? Oh, unsurprisingly, the Q is the fake letter. That's hilarious. Okay, so fuse, diffuse, fused. Yep, nice, Sue. What if diffs? D-I-F-F-S? No, okay. Oh, feud. Play the family feud. Oh, feuds. Fifes. I think fifes can be plural, right? Fifed. There we go. Fifes with an S. There we go. Oh, nice. Okay. Dues. Yep. Dues, dies. Means the rest of them are probably E's and F's. So what about E-F-F-S? Maybe? Oh, yep. There we go. Feds. Okay. Maybe D-U-I-S? Oh, side. There you go. Fused. Duffs. There you go. Oh, singular duff. As in one duff. All right, we have 4 more 4-letter words and 1 5-letter word. Oh, used. Nice. There's F-U-D-E? Yeah, I don't know what those last ones are. Oh, sued. I'm trying to think of what the other 5-letter F word. Maybe it's an E. Oh, but we got skipped 2 levels anyway. See, I was getting too cocky. We got Sue, Josephine, and Butterflies. Well done. Okay, so hidden letter and fake letter. Is it between? Yes, okay, so it is a hidden E and a fake M. M as in Mama Mona. Let's see, so we got tween, teen, bent, between. What about just ween by itself? Yeah, Connie got it, there we go. Let's see, oh, Ben, B-E-N. There we go. We got bent. Let's see. But T-E-N-E? It's like tene or something. Remember? Oh, newt. There we go. Okay, we have another B-E. Oh, B. That makes sense. Okay, what about W-E-E-T? Maybe? Okay, could start with a T. T-E-B-E? Oh, twee! Nice! Look at us go! All right, that's going to put us at level 18. Ooh, 18's tough. Josephine, Kara, Connie, well done. Here we go. Hidden letter and fake letter. We have potential I-N-G. I'm going to try ruin. R-U-I-N-G. Okay, maybe it's a hidden N. Winner? Winger. What's that? Okay, so it's a fake U. It's a fake U. So maybe ring. No, that's too many I's. So winger, ring, winger plus rain. Nice. Another E, Ewing maybe? Oh, well, that's not even a thing. What is the hidden letter? We got ring, but not rung. It's a fake U. All right, well, it's gonna unlock here in a minute. Oh, genuine would have been a good one. Here we go, it's about to unlock. Gosh, what is it? An A? Wagner? What is that? Wrangler? Wearing? Oh, my brain was not there at all. Oh my gosh. Oh, that was brutal. That was brutal. But all right, let's see who got overall here. We've got Josephine, Sue, and Butterflies. Well done. Well done. All right, we'll go ahead and close that. All right, well, that pretty much wraps it up for today. Thanks everyone for being here. We had fun getting started on this little page here with some paint. We'll pick it up on Friday. I'll try to do something in between, but we'll see. Chaos here. So anyway, all right, everyone, thanks for being here. I'll try and get caught up in some squares this week, and yeah, I'll chat with you in a couple days. Have a great rest of your week. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Wrong button, this one.